Happiness through curiosity on the Ranveer Show. I'm about to turn 31 like within a few weeks. All my friends of my age, when we meet, we talk about this aging parents problem. And it's two different generations with very, very different mentalities, very, very different mindsets. Our parents are just about turning 60. And a lot of my friends are not sure about how to deal with aging parents because a lot of them don't take help often.
Yeah.
And this is also one of those life skills that you only learn as life happens to you.
True.
Which is why even if there's teenagers and people in their early 20s watching this, you Gen Zs, you guys are going to face this in a few years. I also feel that generation of human beings didn't have podcasts, didn't have Luke Coutinho.
And you.
No. Us. This
Us, yeah.
combination.
Us.
Because we've always tackled these podcasts from a particular thematic angle. Like we've done a mental health one, we've done a weight loss one. Today we should talk about this whole process of aging, everything it brings, everything that people can change. Because I see a lot of people in their early 60s especially, and I'd also say 50s, again, letting themselves go.
Yeah.
Just buying a lot of processed food packets, eating them every day, all day. When their kids go up to them and say that, listen, why are you doing this? Why are you putting this inside your body? The response is usually, I'm done with life now. I've lived my life. My age to be fit has gone away. And then something happens, some kind of degradation happens in their body. And then they face a lot of pain, some kind of suffering due to that degradation, which could have been stopped. How do you even I don't want to use the word mentor because all these are older people, but how do you kind of advise parents? And do you get people who bring their parents to you, where sometimes the parents are not willing to listen to even Luke? Like, how do you deal with this?
Yeah.
And also you've been through this. You're 44 years old. So you've gone through this for the last 15, 20 years of your life, having aging parents yourself.
Yeah.
What's your advice to the parents? What's your advice to people my age who are seeing aging parents for the first time? Because you see these little moments of, okay, my dad and mom are kind of getting older now.
So see, there's a lot deeper than just what they should do. It comes from generational trauma that their parents handed over to them and they've handed over to their kids. The issue is not the generation gap. And I'm going to come to this. This is a brilliant, brilliant question. So yes, we get a lot of young kids bringing their parents to us. I've had some parts of my parents being stubborn. Like they don't want to give up white bread. They believe they've been like 70, 80 without a problem, no diabetes, super fit, all of that stuff. Agree. The point is what parents need to understand, number one, is why do we make choices that we know are wrong for us, but we still do it? That's number one, okay? Every human who makes a wrong choice with consciousness is because they have some suffering. Now, when I'm saying suffering, don't look at it in a negative way. There is something, okay, that is missing in their life, and we're going to come to that. 3 powerful words. This changes everything. It heals inner child, it heals generational trauma, parent-sibling relationships, all of that stuff. So there are 2 things. Parents look at the generation below, okay, and they're like, hey, we don't have half the problems y'all have. Y'all have organic food, y'all have this, y'all have freedom to do so many things, but y'all have more lifestyle diseases than us. So it's always that kind of debate, we're doing it right, you're doing it wrong. Okay, there are choices and changes that everyone needs to make. Parents out there need to understand that the food chain that they were eating at their time was very different from today. Today, most of our food is spurious. Most of the protein brands in the market are fake, are spurious. It's already out there. You don't know what to eat. The point is the food chain is different. White bread and brown bread was very different 15 years ago from it is today. 2, our parents were used to having a teaspoon of sugar in the morning tea, evening tea, 2 Marie cookies. That's it. They didn't go out as much as people go out today. Eat outside food, have the availability of pastries and everything around us. So number one, the problem has not always been sugar. It's the consumption of sugar, the overconsumption of sugar. The 101-year-old person and all my 95s, they still have white sugar in their 2 cups of tea every single day. But what they have is control and discipline. They want to keep ordering stuff out on, platforms and stuff. So my honest message to parents is make the change where you have to, because disease is changing, expression of genes is changing, environments are changing, and the quality of food is changing.
Disease is changing, expressions of genes is changing.
The quality of food is changing, and environment is changing.
Okay.
Which means we have to change too.
I think quality of food and environment, people understand. It's pollution, it's stress, etc. Social media. Quality of food, people understand. Genes are changing and disease.
Yes.
Explain these two.
Look at it. Today, disease expresses itself differently in everyone. Some people have a primary tumor. Some people have metastatic tumors in no time. What is changing? What is changing a gene to upregulate into a cancer, into an Alzheimer's? It is environment. Epigenetics, as we know, is a science. What does epi mean? Environment. Environment controls genes. You and I can have the worst gene in our body, but it never has to manifest. All the genetic tests can show us that we have the worst genes, but it never has to manifest into a disease if we are in control of our internal environment and our external environment. That's what epigenetics is, and that is the hope for so many patients who do their gene tests and say, oh no, there's breast cancer, there's prostate cancer, and now these patients would just die of fear. But what are they told? Hey, it's epigenetics. You're aware you have the gene. All the more reason, create the right lifestyle so you don't trigger the gene to upregulate. Now, many of these foods, look at allergies today. Why are people getting sudden allergies? You would eat wheat before, but you have problems today. Milk before, certain foods. Why? The quality of food has changed. Our systems don't have the microbes or the DNA to break down those foods. So how does the body respond? Allergies, autoimmune conditions. So my honest message to parents out there is we all know we need to change. We all evolve through change. So wherever we can make the change, I'm not saying you got to jump in and spend a lot of money on organic food. If you can, that's your choice. I'm saying the more you are aligned with what nature's given you. Let's keep the statistics simple. 90% what nature gives you, 10% have your bag of chips, have your ice cream, all of that. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. But most people are the opposite. 70% junk out of a packet, quick foods to make, and they've moved away from natural foods. That's the first thing. Now, second is to everyone trying to look after parents. Number one is our intention. You know how many parents turn around and say, my child wants me to look after myself? Ask him how many hours he sleeps. Why is he smoking? Why is she vaping? All of that stuff. If any problem has to be solved in life, it is with understanding, and if it is the want to, I understand. If I want you to stay healthy, am I leading? Every change that has happened in the world is through leadership. Children between 0 and 8 learn through what they see, what their teachers model and what their parents model, not through what they're told. You cannot tell a child what to do because they're in a theta stage. They work through hypnosis. I see and I do. After 8, 9, 10, 11, now that's when children start to question why, because they're in a different phase. They're no longer in theta. So if we want our families to heal, there is also the generational trauma. Ranveer, these are the 3 most important things. Every baby, every child, every kid looks for 3 things for a life which will help you make the right decisions. And if you make the wrong decisions, you'll come back on path. Love, attention and appreciation. 3, care, a sense of belonging. Any child who lacks one of these or all of these, will find it outside of their family. They'll find it with a drug dealer. They'll find it in a bar. They'll find it in the wrong company. Not to judge all of these things. I've had teenagers come and say, Luke, I get more love from my friends who do drugs than my own family. And he's right. She's right. These are the missing elements. Now, it's not only for kids. It's even for adults. Imagine a parent who doesn't have one of these or all of them. Even at 70, we expect them to be mature and understanding. No, the human soul needs what the human soul needs. And that's why sometimes I tell you in a quick way, this could be a whole, this whole family trauma, generations, you don't understand me. It's not about understanding. Each party is seeking appreciation, validation, love, and a sense of belonging and care.
What validation are 70-year-old parents seeking?
Approval. Like every child is looking. The most destroyed relationships is a mother, daughter, father, son. A son still looking out for approval from a father. Okay, I met the fathers and the sons. No, I want my son to be tough. He should be this. I should correct him. Agreed. Absolutely. Fantastic. That's at an objective level. But do you approve of your son with love for everything else? I can say, Ranveer, I don't like your behavior. You're doing this wrong. I love you, but I don't love your behavior. I'm approving. I'm reinforcing that nothing's changed between, I still approve of you. When that approval is missing, most fathers and sons, and I'm telling you, I have seen men on their deathbed and their children who are now 40, 50 still craving that approval. And sometimes I'm just, please approve of your son before you die. That'll be the biggest gift you give. And the same thing with a mother and daughter. The same thing. And I'm telling you, parents at 70, 80 are still looking for that approval. They realize they might have messed up some parts of the childhood. No one gets trained to be a parent. No one gets trained to be a parent. I remember my dad telling me before he died, you know what he told me? He said, if there's something you didn't like in the way I brought you up, just do it better with your kid. Simple. We all make mistakes, whatever it is. But the point is, you know how many parents today need to just reflect and apologize to their children? And how many children have to apologize to their parents for something or the other? And if one of these three things come in their life, we're fighting over food and exercise. Why do most people not work out? They care about their body. They know because there are voids that need to be filled that are bigger than exercise. You love a person will start working out. Think about it. When someone falls in love, they want to look good, you hit the gym, whatever. The moment you're in love, the honeymoon period is over. Most people go back to normal. Why? That void is already filled. So it all comes down to our parents. You can't expect your parents to understand you. We're such a different generation. We know so much more that they don't know. And they can't expect us to understand them. Some parents have gone through World War II, World War I. We will never understand what they've gone through. So some things you got to give respect and listen. And the other things, of course, you have egoistic parents and egoistic children. Fighting for ego and pride, that's your downfall. But most parents out there are just waiting for that approval from their children. And most parents are waiting for you to apologize if you have made a mistake. I know so many parents are beating up their kids. Some of them say that, hey, that made me who I am today. And some of them got traumatized. And today as a parent, if you realize that, hey, that messed up my kid, you can't change the past, but say sorry to your kid because that's a form of approval. Your kids can't do anything either, but that approval that they get is a form of deep love. The relationship will change immediately. But the ego of a parent or a child or a teenager, because you want to fight and you want to be right, you see, it's the want to be right that is destroying humanity today. The want to be right with ego and pride. Of course, who has a perfect parent out there? Are my parents perfect? No. Do I love them? Yes. Because I know what they've done. Who has a perfect child? Who has a perfect teenager? It's difficult for everyone. But the moment ego and pride comes in, I'm the parent, so listen to me. Approval is one of the most important things. Look at half the people showing flesh on Instagram. What are they looking for? Approval. What is validation? A seek of approval. It's so desperate that you're okay getting it from people you don't even know. Oof. So the point is, every human needs appreciation. And I want people, I have a lot of young people come in Luke. I say, what is it that you want in a relationship? You know what most young girls, boys, teenagers, divorced partners say? The first thing they say is, I want appreciation. And some people say, why do you need? You should be self-appreciated. You should find, no, we're meant to be social beings. Of course, I should be able to love myself, appreciate myself. But of course, when you get appreciation from someone, you just want to do more and more of that. But if you don't get it in your relationship, you will find it in the next person who appreciates you. And if you're weak, guess what's going to break? Any relationship. Any marriage. It happens all the time. Most of them have got into it because they felt more loved, appreciated, validated, or cared for than in their original relationship. That's not a reason for you to do that. You can still communicate and get out of a relationship if you want to. There's the right way of doing it, the wrong way, and there's the weak way of doing it, which many people succumb to. But if you look at most people who have gotten into affairs or out of relationships, it's because of the lack of these three things. Every kid, every senior citizen, everyone needs these three things. So today when we look at that and I see someone, an aggressive parent, what do I see? I see anger, I see ego, but I also see a lack of love, appreciation, and a sense of belonging. And now if that's fitted in, of course you will want to do more for yourself. You'll care about yourself because there's value. If you're not loved, do you feel valuable? If you have no appreciation, do you feel valuable? Then we got to fake it. I need a Gucci, I need a Louis Vuitton. Nothing against the brands. I love those brands. But it's become my identity. There are two kinds of people. You wear brands because you need it to build your identity, or you wear brands because, hey, I love it. I feel good. It makes me... But some people think that if I wear a Gucci, people will see me as rich. That's a big problem. Wear a Gucci because you love it. Wear a Nike because it's great for your sports or what you do. But don't do it because you feel your value is going to go up, because you've done something, because you're lacking these three things. Love. Now, love doesn't always have to come from a partner. I can be in a relationship. You can be in a relationship where we don't get that kind of love that we want. But I'm getting it from a mom. I'm getting it from a dad. Love is love. It's an energy. It's an energy. It's going to be different for everyone. But approval, Ranveer, that is it. So today, I think parents have to reflect, children, teenagers have to reflect, where is it that I owe an apology to my parents? Where can I put my pride down? And parents too. And I can't tell you how the relationship will change. Then things like caring about yourself, making the right choices of food and all of those things. The very fact that you need to look after someone's health who doesn't care about themselves. It's not that they don't care about themselves. Most of their energy is going into seeking love, attention, appreciation, care, and a sense of belonging.
Hey, if you enjoyed this clip from The Ranveer Show, we've uploaded a ton of other clips related to a ton of other topics. So explore the channel because there's something for everyone.